Hey guys, Megumi Mary here, and I'm going to be doing a vlog for the episode of Steven Universe that was on last night, Mr. Greg. I'm not going to be doing vlogs for individual episodes unless I feel they really deserve it. And yeah, this episode deserved it. For those of you who don't know, the episode follows around Greg and Steven as they go to blow his dad's money that he got for a burger jingle. And Steven ends up having Pearl tag along. And the entire episode's done as like kind of like a pseudo musical because they're going to Empire City, which is basically their world's equivalent of New York City. So that's the basic plot outline. I am now entering spoiler territory. So if that matters to you, click out of the video now. The one thing I thought was really good about this episode is that for a long time, you get the sense that Pearl was more than just a follower of Rose Quartz, that she was in love with Rose Quartz. And they even addressed that in detail in several episodes, including Rose's scabbard. And you could always tell that there was a hostility between Pearl and Steven's dad, Greg, because of the fact that she feels like Greg took Rose away from her. So I knew they eventually had to do an episode that addressed this dynamic. But I didn't want them to just do it and get it over with. It had to be done really well, and this episode delivers on that. Like I said, the entire episode is done in kind of like a musical homage, and it really plays up to the emotional weight that Pearl tends to feel, and they just do a lot of great stuff. They address Rose's feelings about it, how Greg feels guilty about everything, how Steven just wants the two of them to get along. They did a lot of great stuff that really needed to be addressed with this storyline. And you really get a sense at the end of the episode that these characters are ready to move on. That Pearl's ready to accept Greg for who he is. And Greg's, ready to start hanging around Pearl and everyone else. And you just get the sense that all this pent-up emotion about Rose is finally being dealt with. We had a couple episodes in the past that deal with Greg's relationship with the crystal gems. Maximum Capacity is probably one that really stands out in my mind, which is the episode where Amethyst and Greg were watching the old TV show, Lil Butler, and basically the last third of that episode was just Amethyst trying to deal with unresolved feelings about how she felt abandoned by when Rose died. So it's really nice to see them address this topic with Pearl, who was clearly closer to Rose than any other character, and I get the sense that now that they've addressed this, the gems are going to start looking to have Greg around more, because there's really no sense in him not being there as much anymore. Because the main reason why he didn't stay with the gems and hang out with Steven more is because of the feelings, the resentment that he felt from the gems. So I really think that this episode is going to be a huge turning point for a lot of the characters, and I'm really glad that they did this particular episode really well, because they could have just made it like a simple, let's resolve this, but that's what I like about Steven Universe. They do stuff in a way that really does it justice. And you think going into something that's just going to be a tacked on moral, but they just have a way of taking even the most mundane of stories and making it something really good. I mean, what was essentially started out as them going to the city to just blow all this money that he got for a burger jingle turned out to be a really big emotional turning point for both Greg and Pearl. And I just like the way that the show does this with these silly setups that end up having really good payouts. So I just think they did a really good job with this one, and I'm glad that they're finally going to be moving past all this resentment that you see in the show between Greg and Pearl. So it was a good episode. Highlights of the episode is Pearl's song, "It's Over, Isn't It?" If there is any song in this show that could debunk Stronger Than You in my book, it's this one. It's definitely better than of the song Full Disclosure. I don't know if I would rank it over Stronger Than You, but I really like the song in this episode. And it's just a good episode overall. And I recommend it. Alright, so I'm not gonna try to do vlogs for every episode, but if they do a particularly good episode, I might go in depth about what made it so great. I'll try to do this more often because I'm trying to be more current with my YouTube channel. So, this is Megumi Mary, and I'll catch you guys next time.